I see Marcus is he's still on May. Oh, he's May the Force be Sith you. Okay, yeah. Well, happy Cinco de Mayo to you too, Marcus. Welcome back to the Calf Plus channel, everybody. We are here for a spirited review of the upcoming Heritage Signature Auction, which happens the 8th through the 10th. So the beginning very soon. So let me bring in. Well, yeah, yep, nope. He is ready and raring to go, Mr. Joe. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Okay. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. Not too bad. How about yourself? We haven't, we really haven't had a chance to talk in a while. I feel like there was almost a 2 month gap. It feels like between signature auctions.
It's actually pleasant for me. I think I've mentioned it before. I don't like it when the deadline for the next auction is before we finish the following auction. You know what I mean? It's like we're doing two different things at the same time. This particular gap gave us a little bit of space, so it's needed and appreciated.
I get it. You need it. You need a. I have to imagine that in the consignment side of things and organizing stuff. Yeah, when they're too tight, too close together, it gets a little a little. I don't know. It's not harrowing, but you got to really just juggle a lot of stuff because you're trying to
Well,
start
it does
another. And
get crazy because people don't realize how many people they wait to see their results before they make a decision on the next sale. They
Mhm.
may have bought something, they may want to consign then, there's so many things when it comes to that. So if the sale's not over, if the deadline is before the sale happens, none of those decisions can be made. So it becomes crazy. A lot of contingency. Well, what if I get this, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm not at that level of as a collector, or a seller, but I can understand that. That makes a lot of sense. Like especially
And
when they're
I
closer, it
see.
makes it more difficult for.
There's your birthday. Everybody wants me to congratulate you on your birthday. Uh, I think you should start to be 55 every year. That's my thing.
Yeah, yeah, I know 58 was a big one for me. Maybe I realize how close I am to 60 now. I didn't feel too close to 60 when I was 57, but 58 changed a whole lot of my outlook on things. I didn't realize that. So, but yeah, no, but it was good. I mean, it's always good to kind of reassess what what you're doing with yourself and everything. But yeah, no. Hey, I love what's going on around here right now. We got lots of good stuff going on, uh and we have a lot of cool. Well, we have an amazing set of artworks to talk about tonight in the upcoming Heritage Auction. So, um,
Here
so
we go again.
yeah, so here we go again. I actually I do have a link, so anybody, I think there's a link in the show description, but I can always put it in the chat. Uh Kaz just says this is the youngest you'll ever be. That is so true. I
I
think
could give
Medicare.
you the old joke and then say, "Hey, listen, 58's not the end of the world, but you could just see it from there."
Jeez. Thank you. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Um, well, I won't say anything smart, but no, so we should just dive into it. Links in the chat to this one, and again, what bidding? When does everything open? I assume.
Okay, so the comic art sale is Friday. It starts at
Mhm.
12 p.m. Central, and that's both the platinum goes right to floor and continues right through till we're done with all the floor items, which means the live auctioneer. Then the second session in comics is Sunday, starts 11 a.m. and then runs through lot 94001 to 431. So 431 items. Then I want to remind everybody we added the modern art session after the regular session. So we take a break and it's 6 p.m. Central. We go into the modern art, and that is growing every time. It's now, I see, from lot 138. So
Well,
significant number of lots.
So do you see, I think we talked about this before, but do you see like, maybe a little bit of a drop off in the number of, or do you see the ebb and flow? Like there's people who are more interested in the older work and then a change going into the modern, or is it pretty steady and consistent all Sunday?
I honestly don't track the number of views, but it always, falls off because, once somebody is targeted certain items, unless you're a dealer or, just interested in general in following every lot of the sale, if there's nothing that interests you in the last hour, you usually don't tune in. But so much of heritage is driven by the wantless service,
Hmm.
that if you're a Peach Momoko fan, you will get a reminder when the Peach Momoko lots come up, no matter where they are in the sale, and you will get a tracking, and every single day you'll see how those lots do right up until the sale.
I get a lot of text messages from Heritage these days, especially start of an auction or a piece that I've been tracking or
Yeah.
something placed a bid on. Yeah, Heritage does not forget to let me know that there's something I might be interested in or am
Yeah.
interested
People
in.
always ask me, what are you going to do to make sure people, view my item? And I tell them the majority of heritage bidders use the wantless service. If you're consigning a whatever, Gil Kane, anybody who's a Gil Kane collector that's shown interest in Gil Kane will get a message that
Mhm.
we've got a Gil Kane item for you. And Heritage will track it for you right up until the sale.
That is perfect. Peter Rose says your emails, you email him every day. I think I get like 2 emails from you every day because you're my contact over there as well.
Yeah. Can I consign Bob Kane art?
Marcus likes to tease because of the notoriety of certain auction places around the interwebs that sell Bob Kane art that we know is not Bob Kane art.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
that is
Even
the
I thought he might we actually have one of the definitive, I'm skeptical of all Bob Kane art in general,
course.
but we've got the definitive real Bob Kane piece that goes back to the early days of fandom. Yeah. Okay.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
So so shall we just dive right in
Go.
and look at some amazing stuff? Let's see. I have everything in the order that you sent it to me as well.
Okay.
But we might as well start off with this amazing Spider-Man cover, right? It's a beauty, and there's been a few of these amazing Spider-Man covers coming up of late, and I know this isn't the only one that's in this auction.
Yeah, this auction has Ramita Senior Spider-Man art. I mean, no doubt about it. But each one is unique unto itself. And like this one, of course, is early. You're talking about Spider-Man 41. You're talking about 1966. You're talking about Prime Age, early Marvel. Silver Age, where Stan Lee's introducing a new villain, trying to introduce a new villain every month. And so here's the first appearance of the Rhino. Um, uh, in the last sale, an undersized, the undersized cover that we had and we discussed here ended up
Mhm.
selling for $650,000. I mean, that was a stunning number. So whenever you get a record price, it draws new material out of the woodwork. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Once we get the results, it just brings new material in because people have just seen what just happened and they want in on it.
Well, that makes perfect sense. But here you have a first appearance. I mean, imagine it being a kid seeing this comic book on on a spinner rack. I mean, you're gonna buy this no matter what because this guy looks crazy. I mean, I
Well,
look
when
at it
you
now
say
and I
that, I was a kid that seeing that on the spinner rack, and I did buy it. I remember it distinctly. I also remember it was odd, during that period of the '60s. We were knee deep into the Cold War, So it seemed everything had something to do with the Cold War and things like that. And if you recall, the Rhino was a Russian mobster,
Hmm.
so you always had that kind of connection. Lee had a little, 1 foot here and 1 foot here in the real world, and in the sci-fi fantasy world.
Yeah. No, I get it. And hey, anytime somebody's breaking through a wall, it's gonna grab you. But I mean,
Yeah.
this is awesome. Look, I mean, Spidey's down. He's the Rhino's victorious or something.
But
It's
he's facing forward. It looks like the Rhino just went right past him. What I like is I like the framing in the foreground
mhm.
with the walls, which creates this natural frame. And yeah, that's why this, I've often said, I love pieces that look great up on the wall, and this one would for that reason, big, bold, um, image, and beautifully framed. So you have the great contrast.
Well, it is awesome. And CJ says this is John Romita Sr.'s third Spidey cover, I guess.
Yeah,
This is
39,
2041.
40,
Yeah, 39,
31.
40. That's
Yeah,
right.
this is the first one without, the Green Goblin.
Mhm. Well,
I mean, this is a Marvel history kind of piece. As we know, there's very few Marvel covers that exist prior to 65. So, actually prior to 66. So this is one of the earliest Marvel covers that exists.
well, it's a beauty. It probably won't end up on Comic Art Fans, but I can dream. Whomever ends up with it's going to be very, very happy to have it in their collection.
I think I owned this cover at one point.
You
If I
think,
recall,
Joe? That
well, I
means you've been
think
in
so.
this market for a very long time. If you can't remember owning this cover,
Well, back in the day, the second artist was not the guy you went after. It was always the primary artist that the founder, the guy that created it to begin with. So
hmm
Ramita wasn't as sought after, of course, as Dicko.
right? Oh no, no, I totally get that. But well, we'll be all watching this one. I should just put tracking on it right now so I don't forget to be able to look this thing up when it's all said and done.
One of my first deals with Heritage, with Ed Jaster, he came over to my house and he goes, let's make a trade. I've got and he had a Golden Age cover that I used to own and I wanted it back. And he goes, why don't you trade me some stuff you don't care about? How about some Ramita art? So I go into a drawer and I traded him a double size cover and 3 small early Ramita covers. 4 covers. Any one of those is worth double what I traded him for.
But you got
So
back the thing you wanted, right? So
yeah,
that was,
absolutely.
well, I mean, that's well, how could you pass up that opportunity, right?
Yeah, hey, I'm not one that looks back and says, "Oh, woe is me." God knows what I did with the money. I'm happy with what I have. So
Do you still have
uh,
that piece that you traded those 4 covers for, though?
no, I ended up selling it to Halpert. Actually,
Oh, well, then it was
yeah,
something special.
yeah, yeah.
All right, we have a Joe Schuster cover
So
here
last
from
sale, I tried to make everyone aware of how crazy it was to actually see a Joe Schuster published cover. As I said then, as far as I know, I have only ever seen one page of Joe Schuster published comic art up until that point. So
mhm.
for a cover, an early cover to come out was unheard of. And we ended up getting 2, one in the last sale and one that we could put in this sale. And we talked about it, and there was all sorts of speculation around. Oh, well, it's Golden Age, and do people really care? It sold for $1 million.
I know.
So, yes, there is some logic in the world. And
Exactly.
here
Well,
we've got a 1940 uh, Action Comics cover. I mean, if this was the comic book in nice shape, it would. Yeah, I mean, the most sought after books, of course, are early Action Superman covers. This is only his 12th appearance because, again, as a reminder, Superman did not appear on many of the early Action Comics covers. He wasn't on the cover of number 2, number 3, number 4. It was number 1, number 7, number 10, and then things like that. So to see a really, and this really looks like Joe Shuster. I mean, I'm not even sure if that's Lois Lane in the foreground, but it certainly looks like her. But
Hmm.
a typical early Golden Age cover where the villain is, and it's basically a generic villain. Although we've got a robot of some sort to the right there, which is kind of cool. But this has got everything: the frightened villain, the fainting woman, classic cliffhanger fashion, the Superman curl, the narrow eyes, um, the Joe Shuster line work. There it is.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm
I will
curious.
say that the wall that the Rhino broke through was a lot thicker than this wood paneling that Superman's going through. But I think Superman can take the Rhino. But back to that, the sale of the other Schuster. I mean, it just shows you that the artwork, with historical significance like those, command strong prices, whether or not you have a nostalgic, bent towards it. And you really, in that case, and even in this case, right? I mean, it's not like you picked this up off the newsstand and you love the story. I mean, you're buying it not only for the significance of it, but like you said, the scarcity of Schuster published art, and those are all good things. I think at the end of the day, it just shows you that the value that we place on important pieces of art that are out there in the narrative space like these.
Hey, I mean, without Superman, we've spoken about it before. Comic books began as a way of reprinting comic strips.
Mhm.
The earliest, go back to the first Overstreet Price Guide and before. The most valuable books were strip reprints. That's what people wanted, and it was a way. If you collected, if you wanted to read Tarzan and it didn't appear in your newspaper, so Max Gaines had the idea, hey, if I give the kids 30 days, a whole month worth of Tarzan in one place to read, that's how popular comic strips were back in the day. So everybody that had a character, was part of a syndicate, started publishing a comic book, and they were selling like crazy. Then, this relatively new comic company decides they want to start publishing a comic. There's nothing available for
Mhm.
them. So they put out the word. If anybody has anything that they have rejected, or knows of anything like that, please let us know. The same Max Gaines that put out the first comic book sent them over this because they had rejected the character. And so the first original character basically that appeared in a comic book is Superman. That's why it's so historic, and that's why it's so important.
Well, you said it that when people first started collecting, comic book and strip art was more popular at the beginning of, I guess, this genre of art collecting, right? I mean, I'm not saying you were there in the '60s buying artwork, Joe, but isn't that kind of where everything started? I mean, before people
Absolutely.
were concerned about,
Absolutely. In fact, I mean, I'm not jumping to it now, but later on, within a few lots, we'll be talking about Bob Barrett.
Mhm.
Bob Barrett was one of the founders of, he was a historian and one of the early members of fandom. And we'll touch on, sadly, he was a friend of mine. Sadly, he passed away. And so you're going to get a chance to see some of the things that he collected over the years. But to put it in perspective, he sought out Frank Frazetta in 1967 and visited him at home. and then wrote an article about the experience a few years later in some of the earliest fandom magazines. So we'll talk about that.
All right. Well, next up, Jim Starlin. This is from Iron Man
How
55.
about this? I thought you'd like this piece.
I do. I do. I had to actually go back and read. I didn't read the whole issue, but I had to get the backstory a little bit because it's been so long since I read this issue. But no, this is fantastic. I mean, Starlin from this period is, uh, to me, this is like prime stuff for me when I was reading, picking up back issues as an early comic book collector. I mean, Starlin stuff impressed the heck out of me, you know. And who didn't love Iron Man? This is like the perfect shellhead era for Iron Man, and yeah, this is a great page.
And I had to go back myself and read the issue because I didn't remember. I didn't remember. Is this the first appearance?
Hmm.
And it basically this is the first time we see him from the front. If you remember, it's almost like the Kingpin. You saw a little glimpse in the back or a hand, or you didn't see anything. But this is the page that features the first full reveal of Thanos. The Mad Titan. We got teased throughout the story. This book also features the first appearance of Drax the Destroyer, and he told his origin story and his mission to destroy Thanos. It also shows both new characters and has the Blood Brothers and Thanos' father, Mentor, which was also included in this. So you got Iron Man in the page and Thanos. And this is one of the reasons, Iron Man 55 has become, for some time now, one of the most sought after Bronze Age books because of the Thanos appearance. And of course, appearing in all of the movies and the Avengers and on and on and on.
Well, it's beautiful,
Yeah.
and
What's the bidding at? Do you have it there? I didn't look.
I didn't even check. Let's see, where is it at? 82,500.
$82,000. Okay.
Just imagine if this was sitting in that flat file when you're pulling out those Romita Senior covers.
Right.
You know, yeah, this will never be worth $5,000. But
Exactly.
look at it now. Who would have thought? But no, it's obviously pretty awesome, and clearly, well, it's 103 with the buyer's premium right now. So yeah, all right.
I think this is going to do well.
I I think it already has. There's so many. Well, there's just too many fans of Thanos,
Yeah,
Infinity Gauntlet stuff, and then yeah, that'll be one that probably we will be talking about on a future recap show for this arc.
absolutely.
Okay, Jack
Uh,
Davis. We never get enough Jack Davis EC covers, right? So
and not of this quality. I mean, this is again the last time we talked about the Richard Pujols collection and how he was, such a emphatic EC fan, and he used to go visit Russ Cochran and look at the art before he bought it. So he bought really great examples and uh, in great condition, and they've never been on the market before. So in the last time, I think we might have had 6 lots from his collection.
mhm.
But we have another few exams. So I encourage I didn't feature them all. I think I featured this and Wally Wood, but we have covers. We have great stories. The guy had impeccable taste, and you could see. You remember the last sale? You had that close up, that Jack Davis soldier. I think
Yeah,
you really liked that. It was like
I love
it was
that one.
really wild, and it did extremely well. Well, here's
Good.
another Davis from that collection. I mean, look, not only does he do the great, central gag, with the Gravedigger, you know, I'm sure that guy is,
He's gonna get buried alive, I
yeah.
think.
But
Gonna
look at
do
the
it.
detail that Davis, the time he took to do everything else. It's beautiful, just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, the scenery is almost as beautiful as uh, the deed being done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a frightening guy to be pounding nails in your coffin. I don't think I'd want to run into him in a dark alley.
No.
No. But yeah, what do we got? They have 41,000 on that one right now, not
Yeah.
counting the buyer's
And
premium.
and these are always oversized. Yeah, this is the
Right.
art 13 and a half by 19 and a half. I mean, they're when you see them in person, yeah, they're impressive.
All right. Did you put this one in here for me because it's X-Men or because it's Gil
I
Kane
as I
costume?
usually do, I take the highest price. I take the most active bid and views, and I pick some of those, thinking, hey, if everybody's gravitating to those, I'm sure everybody's going to want to hear about it and see those pieces of art. This one I always find interesting in that this is giant size X-Men 2. So no one needs reminding that giant size X-Men 1 featured the New Mutants. I mean the new team.
Hmm.
But on the cover of number 2, we've got the original team, right?
Yeah, you
So
got to ask what's
you,
going on here.
you got the original 5 X-Men battling the Sentinels, which is classic pre new team X-Men.
Right.
So, I mean, personally, I think it's because I don't remember if they repackaged some art in this as opposed to giant size X-Men 1, which was completely original, but it's a chance to have a 1975 X-Men cover featuring the original team. Yeah.
Yeah. It was some reprint.
Marcus says it's still reprints. Maybe he's right.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of
I mean,
like
he writes so much. I don't know whether to believe him or not. I mean, he could be gaslighting me. I don't know.
we yes, you all proceed with caution when reading Marcus's comments in the chat. But no, of course it's a classic cover, right? Gil Kane. I've always loved this image. It's fantastic. Cyclops, of course, is kicking butt, which I don't know how a kick from the Beast is knocking out a Sentinel on it. But anyway, it's story wise, it's more believable than DC for me. So I love this.
Yeah, and remember, Gil Kane did the cover of Giant Size X-Men 1 and X-Men 94. No, so
Yep. Everybody's okay now everybody's saying all reprints and from the Adams era. So
yeah,
that all jives then with the costumes.
yeah. But you don't think about it that way.
Mm-mm. Okay, this is what do we got here? This is up 135, of course, John Romita Sr. See,
This
there
is
are.
a very interesting one, right? This is the second cover appearance of the Punisher. And last auction, we had a page from the first appearance of the Punisher, and it went absolutely crazy. So here you have a second cover appearance of the cover, but this is a weird cover. For some reason, you need to go to the next picture. Yeah, and Romita did this art in 2 pieces. He did one piece of art for the Spider-Man figure and the spider web, maybe because the thought originally was like if you're going to do like the spider web all in red, you needed a separate plate. So they did it as, 2 plates type of thing.
Mhm.
So they did 2 pieces of art and that it would be laid over the top of this. Well, the other piece of art has never been found. It doesn't appear to exist. So this is only the only art that exists of the cover. So you have Mary Jane, you got Osborn, you got the Punisher, Jay Jonah, Robbie, and it's a piece of history in that, and a great shot of the Punisher. So the 2 ways of looking at this is, it may be a a less expensive way of getting a great historic piece of Marvel art.
Now, is this some kind of like a vellum overlay that they, or is this just
Exactly. They not a vellum overlay. The other image, the logo and the Spider-Man is on acetate. That's up over the
okay,
top. So you're seeing the actual art underneath, and you're seeing the acetate over the top.
interesting. And then that so this woman's head here was also on the acetate. Okay, yeah, that's and yeah, okay. Well, it's different, right? It's you end up if this is all there is, this is all there is. We need to track down whoever Jay was that picked this up and get some answers
Yeah,
for them. Okay. Well, we can't have a heritage signature auction without some Jim Lee X-Men artwork. I mean, well, I guess we can,
yeah,
but here you go. You got I mean the great image of Wolverine and Gambit and Cyclops, not too bad, but this was from a portfolio, not
yeah. They did a limited edition portfolio that offered a combination of prints and trading cards featuring Jim's art. And this was the cover piece of the portfolio, and it was so popular that it was used for a poster for the Mighty Mutant Tour, which then Lee traveled around the country promoting not only this, of course, but that the upcoming X-Men #1.
mhm.
So this coincides with the launch of X-Men #1, which of course, became the biggest selling comic book. And it was across T-shirts. So this is one of the most famous X-Men images to emerge from the early '90s. I mean, look, it's classic. It's classic Jim Lee. That forward thrust. You've got the great Cyclops image, going left, and then coming right at you. I mean, it's a great image. The claws, you got everything here. Love the shadow on the bottom, just leading the eye forward.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm not. I feel like I haven't seen the image before, but I wasn't buying comics in the early '90s, so I missed out on a whole bunch of stuff. But no, it's a wonderful image,
You were the
and
only one not buying comics in the early
I know.
90s. And then,
Well, I just got out of college. I didn't have any money, so
yeah,
I had to stop buying comics for like
yeah,
4 years. So I missed it from 91 until at the end of '94. I bought not a single comic.
yeah.
So
In
I mean,
'91, we launched Christie's. So we contacted all the image guys, and we had a lot of the new art, right? And that's why, Jim, he consigned, the famous story of how Image actually began is the founders of Image all showed up together in New York for a Sotheby's auction, and the the art to X-Men 1 was sold complete.
wow. So you
Yeah.
had a hand in that.
Well, yeah.
Well, someone's going to be very happy with this, and it's not. Um, I probably won't. Well, who knows? I don't even. Jim Lee Market on X Men. I have no. I don't have a finger on that pulse whatsoever because I've
Yeah.
never
There's
played
only one way to describe it. High.
it.
How much is
Well,
this?
you just look at the Jim Lee Market for modern art coming out, right?
Yeah.
And
How much was that? Is that cover at?
uh,
Actually, if it's possible, it's actually relatively cheap compared to the prices of other things.
yeah.
Considering Jim's popularity, it really is, and the historical importance.
I'll is that on the 8th? Is that one of the lots that is going off early or
No,
probably?
it's uh, you're asking me what lot number it is?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't even check, and I closed the window already, so I'm
Oh
screwed,
yeah,
but
go to the pre. Well, I don't have it. It's I don't want to. I don't. If I open Windows, then I'm going to get totally
Yeah,
confused.
we're not going to do that. I'm trying to look through the spreadsheet, but yeah, I don't have a lot
It's
number in
lot
front of
number 7. It's the 7th item that
me.
I put
Oh,
on my list.
got it. Well, I can't click on it at the moment,
Yeah, don't
unfortunately.
worry about it. Let's
Yeah,
put it this way: it's not cheap.
no, no, it's not. It's lot 92010. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I was able to find it. All right, so where are we going to now? McFarlane, Spidey.
Yeah, nice one. Nice McFarlane splashes have been turning up because the prices have been, again, the prices have been fantastic. And I mean, you look at some of these splashes. I mean, I like them better than the covers, really. I mean, look at the work he did on the buildings here. I love the idea of this. You've got the forced perspective, you got the classic McFarlane type pose, but then you got this. Uh, uh, I love the porthole view of the insert panel, which just focuses on his eye and a knuckle, right? So it's the exact eye and knuckle from the distance, but close up.
And turn 90
And
degrees, right?
yeah, he likes
Clockwise.
doing. I mean, look at that.
Well, he did love his tall, narrow panels. We do know that,
Yeah.
and no, it's an amazing image, and I can see why you would say that there's a lot of interior pages that rival the covers from his runs, but yeah, no, it's a great image, really nice. And who was the
Well, look
inker?
at the
Robert
detail.
Wagner.
That's unusual. I think his style in the buildings to the right there is a little different than he normally does. Very fine, you know, almost Brian Boland like uh, work. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Look at that cross hatching. It's really cool.
This is from Spidey. What is it? 11. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's you're
And
right.
like this is page 10. Do you know what I mean? It's not like page 1. I mean, an interior full splash panel. Beautiful.
Mhm. I'm with you. I'm glad I'm not a buyer in the Todd McFarlane Spidey market. I couldn't afford it. But this is kind of an amazing piece from Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's a DPS from issue 5,
Yeah.
and Perez
I
with
mean, it seems
Jerry
every
Ordway.
sale now we've got to talk about a George Perez piece. Another, stunning pieces. I don't think enough people really appreciated his work, his output, and yeah, how great he really was until the stuff started going up in value and it brought some focus to it. But I mean, this is a double page spread, and again, interior of the book. Our guys counted 160 characters, 160 unique characters, and none of them are just scribbled. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This is the largest collection of characters in a single image in the whole series, and that's saying a lot when you're talking about Crisis. One of the must-read graphic novels. The storyline Crisis on Infinite Earth. Again, those mid 1980 DC books, the Dark Knight, I mean, it just goes on and on. And this was one of them.
Yeah, Marcus, I cannot name them all. I can already tell you that. But it is fun to look through here to see the Swamp Thing and Superman next to Sergeant Rock. I mean, this is yeah, it's
It's
a
almost all
hoot.
the superheroes from Earth 1 and Earth 2,
Yeah.
and all of the Silver Age and Golden Age heroes, all in one double page spread.
Well, that's nice. And I did buy Crisis off the shelves. I
Ah,
did too. It seemed like no matter what it was, it was too important not to read it, even though I had no idea of DC continuity or lack thereof. I didn't know what they were fixing with it all, but I enjoyed the read.
yeah. And Jerry Ordway inks. to boot. Here we've
Big
got another
Hollywood.
page from the Pujols collection. This is the Wally Wood Shock Suspense story cover I was alluding to earlier. You don't see many, you know, Wally did mostly science fiction, fantasy, things like that, you know.
Hmm.
And here's a great suspense cover, you know, horror. Uh, what happens when a ghost shows up in your back seat?
Yeah, it's a great image. Like most EC covers, this is fun. Uh, but I assume she was reflected in the glass. I don't know. I can't. But I see what you're saying. She could be a ghost. But either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, look at the look on that
Is that what
face.
you think, that's a reflection? Oh, he hits her, you think?
That's what I'm thinking. I think he's running somebody over. Yeah, with the
Oh,
jolting tales of tension. That's my guess.
you? Yep. Yeah. I
I
have
don't know.
no
I'd have to
reason
see the
to doubt it.
publisher.
I don't know the story, so it could be a story in the interior. But either way, it's the artwork is stunning.
Nope. I agree. I love it. So you said there was a few other EC covers from the same collection?
I'm not sure how many covers. There's at least like six other lots with
Other lot.
stories and other things. Yeah,
And you can search on that, right? When
yeah,
it's
yeah,
from
yeah. It's
okay.
the Richard Pujols collection.
This, oh, right there, Richard. Oh, right there. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that. I've actually never tried to search based on, a collection before.
Uh, Actually, at a conference call today, I suggested to Jim, which I thought was a pretty good suggestion. We have a great write up about like Pujols. So we have a great write up about Al Williamson and his Star Wars collection, and we have a great write up about Bob Barrett that I was alluding to. Now, those write ups are not available in the online uh, uh, catalogs. It's in the our catalog, and it's a great write up, a full page, you know, and you see pictures of him and everything else.
I
So
got mine.
there you go. And compliments of Joe Mannarino.
Yeah.
So there,
You should have signed it before you sent it to me, Joe.
so I said let's create a landing page for those type of collections, so we could create a link and then have the link go right to the landing page, so anybody viewing online can get the entire picture.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably even make the catalog available as a PDF or something to download it, at some point
Yeah.
in the lead up to the auction. Because you're right,
Another thing
there's
is
always a lot of
on that Spider-Man cover we talked about with the Punisher,
Mhm.
we could embed a video. So that's a service that we offer. We have a whole video team that can create videos, and they create I encourage everybody to watch that video. Tell you all about the cover, or tell you all about Marvel at the time and John Romita and everything else. And that video is embedded in the description and is immediately posted on YouTube and other social media sites. So that's a service we offer to consigners. In this sale, I think the only video is that Spider-Man, because I did it at the end, and I thought it'd be perfect for that one. But I've done it many times in the past. Um, uh, I mean, there's been uh, some great success stories because of it.
I imagine so. Now, I know this isn't the only. I think you have another John Byrne or two cover images out there, but this is a fun one from FF 266.
Yeah, a prime period Burn FF cover. I think in the last sale we had the homage to Action One that you picked up
Hmm.
on, that it was an homage to Action One with She-Hulk holding up
Oh yeah,
the thing, and it did great. So here you've got controlled by charisma to kill the invisible woman. The Thing stalks his fallen teammate and closes in to finish the final blow on this shocking cover. So,
Now, is Barney Rubble in this one though? Do you think? We know that, right?
he is on the Thing #1 cover that we have. We have the cover of Thing
Documented.
#1 later, and he's in it
I know.
somewhere. And I looked, and I didn't see it, which I thought was very classic. That in the rubble, of course, is Barney Rubble. But something I didn't know, which I'll say here, is that there was in the animated television show for on Hanna-Barbera, they had the Thing show up on one of it in that same pose that the Thing #1 cover is. And so Byrne obviously saw it. He used that exact image.
Wow. Well,
Said that was on the Flintstones.
right.
So I don't know. I'd ask John, but he'd probably yell at me for something else. So I don't, it's not worth it.
Well, this is a great, anything from the FF run. I've never owned a page, but yeah, one of my, I didn't miss picking up an issue, from the moment he was writing and drawing the book, because they were just amazing. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to that one and look for some Barney Rubble in there. Ross Andrew, Frank Giacoya, and
Yeah.
you got he's shouting, "This time you have to face the Punisher." Look at that.
Yeah, we talked about that the last sale we had a page from the first appearance. Here's the second appearance
Mhm.
from Spider-Man 134. The page we sold last time was a great action page with Spider-Man, a lot of different Spider-Men, flying around. This one, I love the storytelling behind this, because if you follow the panels, you see in the upper right-hand panel, you just see his leg. And then you follow in the next panel his leg traveling down with the gun. And then you see the full image of the Punisher.
I haven't read this story in a long time.
Yeah.
It is, I really have to go back and read this one, but no, I mean, for a very early Punisher image like this, it's the best. I mean, to have it be your end page as well. I had
Yep.
somebody email me the other day. Well, no, it wasn't email, it was through Facebook text. Because on Comic Art Fans, we classify art types, whether it's a title page, interior, DPS, spreader, splash. Somebody said, "What do you think about adding end page as a category?" And, because we talk about that a lot, right? And it's an end page. It is actually significant, especially when it mentions, the next story's called A City of Flame, right?
I like
Uh,
that idea.
it made me think, like, you know what? I think I want to add it. I haven't, talked to anybody about it, but it makes sense, because I have
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 end pages. And for those of us who actually appreciate them, I think it would be really cool to be able to
Yeah.
go in and
Sometimes
just
you have those ads at the end page as
right.
well,
Mhm.
and yeah. And though the artwork for those ad pages go for a lot of money. That's a stunner to me when those come up.
Yes. Well, so for those of you in the chat, if you see end page listed at some point in the future, you know why. It'll actually, I think it's alphabetical, so you'll see end page before you see interior page. So it may happen in the next few weeks, because I like the idea. But
Yeah.
I'd have to tell Jason D'Ambrosio, who suggested it, that I'll have to give him a high five and
There's
buy him
the shout out.
a
Good
yeah.
man. Good man.
I think he picked up a really nice, end page, and felt like the site wasn't giving him enough love. So, yeah, we'll fix that. But this is a great end page, clearly, and yeah, it's going to do very well. So we have John Buscema doing the cover to Wolverine 7, and who's going to buy it? A Hulk fan, a Wolverine fan? I mean, I don't know, but all those early Wolverine covers were great, just very dynamic, and this one's
We sold
no
a couple
exception.
of them, and we sold that great splash page and from the Buscema collection, and they went crazy.
Hmm.
Actually, I think we sold this cover once before, several years ago, and it went for, I don't have it written down, but if I recall, about 100 and I'll say 144.
Okay.
$1,000. So will be interesting to see. This is the Hulk as Joe Fixit. He appeared in just 2 issues that way, number in issue 7 and 8, and very memorable issues. But again, Buscema does this that he did in the Wolverine. This like surrounding the main character with all the other characters, and uh, really focusing your attention. I mean, it's another great piece to put up on the wall. Period. Look at that.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It really is. So you guys already planning your San Diego trip, like setting aside some choice pieces? I would imagine you guys
Those
are.
guys are. I'm not
Okay.
sure if I'm going, but
Ah,
you know, my rule of thumb. If I don't have to, if I don't get
I
shamed into it
understand.
by people like you to go to OAX, I probably wouldn't go.
I'll
Even though I
keep shaming
enjoy
you to come to
myself,
OAX.
even Joe, I've put in my dues, and
Mhm.
you know, uh, we'll see.
All right. Well, this is
Yes, we've
very good.
already, they do more shows than I can keep track of. Barry just came back from Canada. We talked about today the prep. We're doing the is a symposium that we call them, the ones that Nate Howerton does. He's going to do it in Las Vegas, so there's going to be a Las Vegas show. He just had one out in California, so there's shows going on all over the place, and we do our best to represent ourselves, but it's hard to keep track of them all. But
Well, you're
if
the East
any
Coast
of
guy.
you go, let us know. We'll be happy to say hello.
Okay, I get it. So we won't see you at San Diego probably, but that's okay.
You
There's
never know.
always
If
New
Jim
York.
goes, I don't have to go.
Oh, I get it. I get it. So what do we got here? We have a Ron Friends Amazing Spider-Man uh, black costume
Now you
concept
got a
art.
lot more than that. Go through the pictures.
All right, I'm gonna have to because I actually didn't look through all the lots on this one or all the
This
pieces on this.
these are Ron Frenz's all of his preliminary, uh,
Oh,
yeah, including the complete layout of the book, every panel, his first designs for the black costume, the actual script by Roger Stern of the story. So you've got a historic archive here of the creation of the iconic Spider-Man black costume for issue Spider-Man 252.
well, that's historic. Well,
And of
that's
course
pretty cool.
that's the cover. He chose to use for the cover right there.
Hmm. Yeah, deservedly so. A great homage.
Oh,
Um,
very
huh.
good, Bill. Bill's on his game today. I don't know.
You know what? Well, I actually drank 3 Coca-Colas today, which I
Ah,
never do. That's why I can't get the smile off my face, I think. But, yeah, I gotta switch from Zevia to Coca-Cola, and I'll always be in a great mood. But no, this is I've seen friends do those storyboards like that, several on a page. Didn't Zach, I think, also did a lot of storyboarding small on like 8.5 by 11 sheets and stuff. So I think this is pretty cool. Little historical artifact, and you get but was it signed by Stan? No, or Stern, right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't, but anyways, that's cool. That's very, very cool.
Yeah, this is going to be a piece of history. I know. Here's the Bob Barrett um, lots. So as I was saying earlier, Bob was a legendary member of early fandom. He began reading Edgar Rice Burroughs in the 40s and continued the rest of his life. And he started collecting comics, art, pulps, illustration, books of all sort. As I said, he famously sought out Frank Frazetta because he loved Tarzan and the Ant Man and he visited him in 1967 and wrote about his visit. And this is prior to any of the first conventions. The piece you're looking at here is Bern Hogarth, the legendary Bern Hogarth. And as a shout out to my friend Bob Barrett, I pulled out one of my Hogarths. That's a hand colored Hogarth Tarzan behind me that was hand colored by Bern and and gifted to Edgar Rice Burroughs' grandson, Danton Burroughs, and it's inscribed. And I had a hand in getting them together. There had been a falling out between them, and so this is the page I kept of that, and it's a great page. And just as a quick, people go, "Oh, well, Edgar Rice Burroughs, what's the significance?" Let me just quickly tell you why Edgar Rice Burroughs kind of almost started early fandom in several different areas together and influenced generations of people. The least of which is Frank Frazetta. I mean, John Carter of Mars, which is pure sci-fi, a guy going to Mars and everything else. 1912. He wrote a short story. He wrote his first story about John Carter of Mars. Tarzan, 1912. Pure adventure, considered one of the great adventure heroes of all time. Then he writes At the Earth's Core, which is like Journey to the Center of the Earth and Pellucidar, dinosaurs. So think Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Tarzan, any adventure hero you want to think of, all emanated out of Edgar Rice Burroughs. We talk about like sci-fi. People talk about Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon and all of those how they led to Star Wars. Buck Rogers didn't come out until 1928. The first Buck Rogers comic strip was not until 1929. And then Flash Gordon, because those things became so popular, Tarzan and King Feature said, "Hey, make me a Buck Rogers, make me." So that's why they gave, Raymond, and he comes up with Jungle Jim and Flash Gordon, and it all, and all of this spurred the imagination of, an untold number of kids and creators. So, and then on top of that, he also wrote crime, romance, mysteries. So is it any wonder why a lot of the earliest fandom was ERB centric? They were all about Edgar Rice Burroughs, and there were entire, fan clubs started around him. You got it all. And he didn't do, it wasn't a one-hit wonder. It wasn't one story. He did, obviously, Tarzan goes on to every media you could imagine to this day, and so on and so forth. And Bob collected all of this early stuff. Here's an actual comic book cover done by Bern Hogarth. Here's a Frank Frazetta's earliest concepts for his first characters, the snowman and him doing Bugs Bunny. And I encourage everyone, here's a new book.
Wait a minute, I'll show mine.
There it is. I beat you to
it. Twice here.
How great is this book?
Oh, it's fantastic. Michael put a lot of effort into this thing.
He did.
This is a huge book, too.
He is fanatical when it comes to researching things. I mean, the stuff that he found out about the early influences on Frazetta and his early teachers, Michael Falanga, and on and on and on. It's just incredible. And he went and tracked down all of the pages and went to visit. He's been all over the world doing that. And I was very honored. He asked me to do a story, and he used it for the intro. So about Frazetta. So I'm sure you read my intro there, fella, didn't you?
I did actually.
Uh,
No, Michael, this was definitely a passion project for Michael. Yeah, he put a lot of effort into it, but he has a he's got a nose for finding the material, and then to be able to do the research to pull it all together. I thought it was fantastic.
yeah, I mean his ability as in as a lawyer, he knows how to dig in and get you know uh, documents and things that other people would have no idea where to find, and he applies them all. So yeah, he included in his book quite a few pieces from Bob, and he went to visit him. So it's yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, so I encourage everyone to look through and see the other items of Bob Barrett, both in this sale and in upcoming sales, and you'll see. Here's one of Frazetta's earliest pieces.
Yeah, he was Kniff influence a
Oh
bit
yeah,
here, which we've talked about before, I think. But
yep,
that's pretty cool too. I didn't even know there was a second image for that. Well,
yeah. Now it's cool stuff. And then we
okay.
get back to the modern day sci-fi in Dave Gibbons' Watchmen.
Yep, from 87. This is from issue 7.
Yeah, Silk Spectre pulls Night Owl into her. It's a nice romantic page, and you get classic Watchmen symbolism at the end there. Don't you have the? Let's see, in the last panel, there it is. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, nope, and the clock as well.
yeah,
No, that's cool. I haven't seen this one on the market before, so
yeah. Adrian Veidt is there in that second panel up at the top, right?
mhm.
Ozymandias.
Yeah. Planet War says there's too many primo pieces in this auction. There are quite a few, that is for sure.
You get Alan Moore, you get Dave Gibbons, and we've talked about it all the time. Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman, they and Frank Miller. The first time ever that writers actually add value to original art, in certainly in our hobby.
Yeah, no, I agree. Tom, number one Marvel fan, says he's going after 2 pages in the auction, and his goal is to win one of them. So that's probably a solid approach, not to spread it out to like 8 lots that you're hoping just to win one
And
quick.
if you need to pay for it by consigning something, let me know.
Yes, his email is right there. It's Joe M at ha.com. All right, so I knew Dan Goodwin would like this because he's got a thing for Spiral. But here you go. You have a Art Adams uh, cover, 86, long shot, but more. That's pretty awesome. Or
Yeah,
85. It's dated 85. I guess the published date was 86.
yeah. I mean, this was. It's. I think it's already. I mean, when I wrote this, when I picked this, it was already at $49,000.
Uh,
What I like about
65 with the buyer's premium now, Joe.
how much?
65 with the buyer's
Wow.
premium.
So long shot, it takes it on the chin from Spiral, and this is the first issue of his first major published assignment for Marvel. He broke in with Marvel in 1985 on Longshot, and of course went on to do several of their most popular books: Uncanny X-Men, Excalibur, X Factor, Fantastic Four, Hulk.
Oh, there
um,
you go. Hey, just so you know, Tom says, I mean, it's not your department, but he's sending in, he's a big movie prop collector. Big.
oh,
He probably has a warehouse full of movie props, and he says he's going to be sending in film props soon. So yeah,
okay.
he's going after
Hey,
some
you can always let me know, and I'll forward it to the right guys in entertainment. Uh, what I was going to say about Arthur Adams is if you ever talk to any of the image guys, the person that they really looked up to and were trying to emulate was Arthur Adams. I mean, you could tell the influence. He was the first to do the all the fine work and the Japanese kind of you know influenced line work, and obviously he's. I mean, Arthur's incredibly talented. I can never get anything from him, and he's constantly said, "Joe, I'm going to give you something." But those commissions go. He's so busy with his commissions, and they bring so much money. He doesn't need to do anything.
Nope, just covers and commissions, and he's set. But I know he's an art collector. I've seen him
Yeah,
pick up a few things at San Diego before, so
yeah, he is.
he's got an eye uh, for
He
the
knows his
hobby
stuff.
side of
He's a
things.
great guy. Great
Yep.
guy.
Well, yeah, this is one to watch because I mean,
As a
we've certainly
modern
seen what
piece,
the
I'd love
interior
to have
pages
this
go
piece.
for.
Yeah, I think this is wonderful.
Hmm. And Dan Goodwin, I would just encourage you not to go after this one right now. Just sit it out, and keep getting your spiral mystery sketches. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the Shocker cover. This one's
Yeah,
pretty cool. I mean,
yeah,
as an image, I mean, this was just. I mean, that's the thing. Those Spider-Man covers. I mean, even whether it was Ditko and then moving into John Romita Sr. I mean, they just had such they just popped and the energy was there. I mean, like we're focusing on a villain in both of these covers that we're looking at, right? But Spidey's represented here, just with the mask, yeah, and everything. But it's great. I mean, I look at these and I can see the in the effects on there. You can when you see the little scratch marks in there, like here. I mean, whenever you see stuff like that, it just reminds you of Romita Senior. And I mean, it's just a cool image. I really like this cover. I might like this one a little bit more than the Rhino, even just because I don't know. There's something vividly burned in my brain about this cover, the colors that were used and everything.
yeah.
And
It's if the art directly competed with one another, we would probably not include them in the same sale. But this is an undersized Spider-Man cover, very different than the Rhino cover, different than the Punisher cover. So they add to one another rather than compete with one another, in my
mhm,
opinion. And as you said, this is a very memorable cover from the period, and yeah, unmistakably, John Romita. Uh, I look back on these things and I remember I mean, listen, I was a kid growing up in Queens, just like Peter Parker, and it was amazing how Stan and Ditko captured, the typical teenager of the day back then, and was totally different than any other superhero. Um, and that's why Spider-Man was so unique, and that's why it's so lasting. I mean, couldn't be more different than Superman.
of course.
Yeah.
Well, no, this.
Shocker here makes his second appearance, and he debuted in Spider-Man 46. It's yeah. I mean, not much more I can add to it. It doesn't need much more.
Nope, nope, not at all. Okay, so there then the other John Byrne thing
Yeah,
covered it, issue 1.
yeah. I mean, how many times do you get a 1983 Marvel Bronze Age prime period Bronze Age cover to an issue to number one issue?
And we know Barney Rubble's in here somewhere, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, this was uh, yeah. I mean, everybody back then you had to buy every number 1 that came out.
yeah,
So, I might not have been the largest Thing fan, but I picked up my copy.
yeah.
And
I
you
remember the bright orange cover, right?
exactly. Yeah, in a dramatic pose. but
And that pose is the pose that's from the animated show of Fred and Barney Meet the Thing. Perhaps, like I said, that's where Byrne got it, but I don't think it's a coincidence that he also put Barney Rubble in the rubble. And
no,
don't ask me where it is. I blew it up. I still haven't found it.
I did
So
a quick
I
glance.
should
I
have asked
couldn't see it
Xavier.
either.
He
He's in
he
there somewhere.
he found it.
The team said it was in there, so
Yeah.
well, I'll have to. Well, look, Burns signed it
Yeah,
right.
homework assignment. You get
Jeez,
5 extra points if you
I'm
find
not seeing it,
Barney
but
first.
I believe he's in there somewhere. But anyways, yes, very memorable cover, and we have have somebody in the community who's a huge thing collector. I have no idea if they're even in the market for this one, but yeah, I would imagine they'd love to have it if they could.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephen Platt. This thing's already at well, I was going to say 20,000. So it's a 25,000 with the buyer's premium. So
Yeah.
you get a profit promotional illustration. So I'm assuming like the Jim Lee piece. This is not like a cover, but they was used on posters and other marketing
Yeah,
materials.
it was to promote the character, the prophet. You know, people forget if you were around back then that he was very hot for a short period of time, both the artist and the character, and it was Image and um, his distinctive, super detailed um, art that included so many little fine details. Try counting the bullets in this one.
I think there's more bullets on here than there were DC characters on that George Perez Crisis DPS. But yeah, this is well, it's cool, but again, it's from that little window era that I wasn't reading anything, so it's like I look at it and I'm like, yeah, Platt's freaking awesome. I don't have a tie to the stories, but so many collectors out there today, this is like their sweet spot. Anything in the from 90 to 99 is where it's
Well,
at.
for a while, that stuff was, after the implosion happened, everybody ran away from a lot of the secondary. Yeah, obviously the prime Image stuff was going to do well, but everything now from that era has come back big. So I expect more people are going to discover this, and this is going to become, very sought after. I'm not one that usually, over promotes things like that, but I just, that's my observation. This is just too good to be to be ignored, basically.
Yeah, nope, I agree. Platt still does great work.
Yeah.
Let's see what is next. Oh, Eric Larson.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I've
click.
said before, I really like Eric. He's a great guy. Very hard worker, always consistent. He's the only guy that continued working straight through, you know what I mean? And never, even though he had all of those extra responsibilities with Image and everything else. Larson, I'm sure everybody is aware, took over for Todd McFarlane, had to step into some really big shoes. There's one right there. He
Inner
quickly
base.
won fans over. His final issue was issue 328. And you see here, classic Larson panel design, and you get to see the forced, exaggerated pose and perspective of Spider-Man. And you get the Venom. You get that nice vertical panel to the left. It's a classic Larson Spider-Man page. There just aren't that many of them. And remember, am I wrong? I think he had a fire and a lot of his art was destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of his Spider-Man art, Savage
Yeah.
Dragon. I mean, there's
So you just don't see pages come up. I remember about when we first started doing reviews, we were getting like one really good Larson page per auction, and they were going like first at 30 grand, then 40 grand, then 50 grand. I mean, it's
mhm.
amazing.
Yeah. No, I know. I know. It's, definitely I mean, yeah, Marcus said, "Don't forget the fire too." It's unfortunate. I don't know if there was ever, like, a published list of everything that was lost, but it was significant, sadly. So
Yeah,
when you see anything come up to market or even on CAF from Larson from this era, it's always great to see because it's something, it wasn't lost. Uh,
absolutely.
we only have 18 likes. We have 63 people watching the show right now. So I'm not trying to guilt you into clicking the thumbs up, but click the thumbs up.
That's
Why
pathetic.
we would appreciate it.
If Barucci was here, he wouldn't stand for it.
No, no, it'd be like, okay, everybody, come on, let's get to 25. We can do it. That's only 7 thumbs up. We got more than enough people here right now to get to that figure. Okay, so here is a Al Williamson Sunday Star Wars piece. Let me click that. There we go. That's
This is
beautiful.
not just a Al Williamson Sunday. It is the first
It is the
Al
first.
Williamson
I'm
Star
sorry, I
Wars
missed that part.
Sunday. And I'll tell you the story of, I represent, Nadia and I represented Al and Corey for a number of years. And Al was personally selected by George Lucas. He's the one that Lucas wanted to do the first Star Wars strip. Al was not available at the time. So Russ Manning did the very first strip. But as soon as Al became available, and when the Empire Strikes Back was going to come out, Lucas again reached out and they got Al to do it. So his artwork on those Star Wars strips is unbelievable. Now Lucas said at the time in his contract that he would like first crack should Al ever decide to sell the art. Al kept every single piece and never sold a single piece, and sadly passed away. And now we have all the pieces. So we have every single one, has never been on the market before. And we've put about, I don't know, I want to say 25 in this sale.
Mhm.
Dailies, we have the second daily, the third daily, great examples. And his super detailed work is phenomenal. I mean, we've sold some of the comic book pages that book that Williamson worked on, and they went for like $50,000. This is just great.
Well, I would imagine George will have somebody from his team at the museum following this auction very closely.
We'll hope so.
I would think
And Russ Cochran in a book that looks very similar to that Michael Finn book, the hardcover, great of
so. Mhm.
every single piece. Cochran did a reprint book that's just stunning, stunning. People have been after this art for decades, but I mean, this came out in 1981. The Star Wars comic we're talking about, I think, was 83. So this predates all of that. Written by Archie Goodwin, the legendary Archie Goodwin. I mean, it was unheard of. You could only imagine getting this. And here
I,
we've got him
I
in the
wasn't
same.
familiar with the Russ's reprinting of that. I'll have
Yeah.
to look around for that. You can still find a copy somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I mean, I haven't sought them out. I have one.
Well, you had the originals to look at, so uh, yeah, no, that would be cool. I'll have to see what we owed Russ a great debt of gratitude for all the things that he reprinted from EC to apparently Al Williamson, Star Wars. I had no idea. That's
Yeah, and
amazing.
before that, he did Flash Gordon, and
Hmm.
he did great strip reprints, full size of some of the greatest examples of things. And he did, as a matter of fact, one of my favorite. But where is it? It's right here somewhere. He did the ERB. I think it was called ERB Collector, right? Hold on. It's not right at hand, but he did some of the best work, Edgar Rice Burroughs' work, by Frazetta, by um, Roy Krinkle, you name it, any of the artists that worked on ERB over the years, including things that are in the Burroughs archives,
Hmm.
and he published books on those. They're fantastic.
Well, that's the one interview I regret not being able to get was with Russ. We were lining it up, like just we would have done it within 2 months of him passing. We'd been emailing a lot. He sent me like the first 60 printed art, first art sale catalogs that he had,
Oh yeah,
and
I
I
have
was
the
so
bound
excited to.
volumes directly from him. I have his personal bound volumes.
Wow. Well, an amazing guy. I've actually talked to the family, and I'm trying to at some point work out doing it, an interview where we can show some photos and stuff and talk about the importance of
There was a
Russ.
complicated man. He was the head of uh, the physics department. Am I wrong? And he left that to become, basically join fandom. And let's not forget, he did all of the early Barks. He was
Mhm.
partners with Bruce Hamilton on Another Rainbow.
Wow, amazing. Um, all right, what's next? Windsor McCay. See, we were talking about early strips. There's
Yeah.
there's still sought after.
Oh yeah.
So what is this? This is
This
from
strip, I asked them to pump up because we use a camera, we don't scan, and sometimes with his fine line, you lose. But when you see it in person, they look fantastic. Here it looks a little soft, but this is an I don't remember this one ever coming up. This is the first year. It's the 37th strip. In the very beginning, the gag was that little Nemo would fall asleep and then have these outrageous dreams, and basically the pages were self-contained. Every page had its own gag about, he'd fall asleep and he'd see all these wild animals, and they'd grow to gigantic proportions and do crazy things. But later in the first year, he started the storyline where Nemo was trying to get to Slumberland. And who was in Slumberland? The Sandman, King Morpheus, and his lovely daughter, the princess. So, well before Sandman that we know, Windsor McCay was already using the character and Morpheus and everything else. And here he has made it right to the palace, and this is like the day before he actually gets to meet the princess and the king. And then once they do, he and the princess depart on all of these adventures all over the place. So this is a very historic example in that regard. And you have you have got Nemo, you got Flip, you got all the rest, Dr. Pill, and of course the last panel, which is in every Little Nemo, is him waking up.
Well, it's gorgeous for a piece of art that's over, what is it, 120 years old. I mean, it's just amazing,
Yeah,
that
1906.
the skill. I mean, McKay was so talented and ahead of his time.
When you think of what was thought to be cartoon art at the period, and you compare his work, it's it's incredible. He
Hmm.
was so, I mean, and then you look at his editorial cartoons, and he's working on 3 or 4 strips at the different features at the same time. Dream of the Rabbit Fiend and Sammy Steve, on and on and on. He was incredibly prolific. And he had an incredible vision as to how to use color. These were the first ever color. Yeah, there was no color in any publications until, right around the period. And then he drew the strip understanding and designating what color should be and how it should be used. So he brought things into the foreground, pushed things into the background. He he drew your attention in. So if you see the color strips, they're just wonderful. So I encourage people, go get the reprint books. There's been some great reprint books put out over the years, and they're in full color.
Well, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And there's a few of these on calf for those of you who aren't, haven't seen a lot of the work. There are some Winsor McCay, Little Nemo strips there, and plenty in the Heritage Archives as well.
Yeah, I have one of the only hand colored examples.
It's not on the
In the
wall.
other room. It's not in here, but in the other room, yeah.
Well, when we do one of these again, you should have the Winsor McCay colored version on your
Well,
back.
today it was we had to have Bern Hogarth for Bob. You know.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Next up, Tales of Suspense.
Yeah, this is a twice up Tales of Suspense cover from 1967. Titanium Man's third appearance. Also features Half Face, Prime, Silver Age Marvel, before Iron Man got his own book. You know, up until 1968, Marvel was limited to only 8 superhero books because they had lost their distributor back in the late 50s, and they had to go with their hands out to DC. The only distributor of comics was Independent News.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up going to DC and Stan and Goodman and had to ask DC if they could keep, not put them out of business, basically. And it was Carmine Infantino that suggested they be limited to 8 comics because Leibowitz had let them go out of business. And that's why they doubled up the books. So Tales of Suspense had both, Iron Man, Captain America, and then the other. So they doubled up many of the books until 1968 when they got a new distributor, and they and then they, Iron Man got his own book, Captain America got his own book, Hulk got his own book, on and on and on. And they could put out new titles like Conan and things like that. And that's the history of Marvel Comics.
I didn't know all those details.
Yeah,
but I will say this: if you want to get an early Iron Man page,
we're only up. There's a lot more to tell, but we're only up to lot 25.
And, we got a lot to cover here.
Marty is giving the high sign, saying, "Hey, you're only up to number 25, and it's you're an hour and a half in, Joe."
We're past the halfway point, but again, Titanium Man, one of the best early villains for Iron Man. So
yeah,
and if this is his third appearance, not so bad. Okay, Joe Mad and Tim Townsend. Look at this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I guess if you want to get like your signature Joe Mad, X-Men piece, this would be, one of the ones to have.
This is 3 covers connected. Yeah. This is a wraparound gatefold cover, so you get 3 covers. And despite only drawing 20 issues of the X-Men in total, his run is considered legendary. And everybody, of course, loved his covers and, his, it's not so evident here, but usually it's that his limit of detail, you know what I mean, is he focused on just the most important elements of line, and but here you've got both classic examples of his art in and beautifully framed. Look at the darks in the background there. I mean, beautiful central shot of Gambit. You got Rogue, Archangel, Beast, Maggot, Joseph, Psylocke, Sinister, Merciless Marauders. Yeah, you got a lot going on here.
Yeah, I forgot this cover. But yeah, because the main cover focused right on Gambit there. But no, it's a fantastic image, and this is about when I picked up buying comics again. It's like 96, 97 at that point. So no, very very memorable image for sure. Planet Warrior says they're in on 5 pieces that are over $20,000 right now. Look, yeah. Well, if you win all 5, you may need to explode. I don't know, but no, that's cool. You get Townsend inks on this one.
Oh.
Um, yeah, not too bad here, and it's at just under 30 with the buyer's premium right
You
now.
know, there was this sales load. I say this every time, but it's true. In recent years, every sale is loaded, and I could have talked about easily 200 pieces in this sale. I mean, but how do you not talk about this?
We
You
would need a
know,
marathon show for that, Joe.
yeah. I mean, how do you not speak about this? By the way, you did a good job with Xavier and Aaron,
Yeah, they were
and
happy.
they did a good job. I
They
like
did.
seeing them holding the actual art and staying late.
I had to go full screen on them, a couple times because yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
no, it worked out well. I mean,
yeah,
I like talking to Aaron and Xavier for sure.
yeah.
And we might be doing well, I know that we're going to be doing another show next Tuesday, not you and I, but, we'll get that lined up, I'm sure, one way or another. But, we definitely wanna talk, dive in a little bit more into animation now that we have A2X, part of OAX, and
Listen, Jim Lentz is the most knowledgeable guy I know in animation. He worked for Disney, and he's done an incredible job resurrecting the entire genre of animation. Animation had been slow for years prior to him and Heritage getting into it, and but he's a bit old school. I don't know if he's going to want to be on.
well, he's gotta have some
I tried to shame him into it for you, Bill, and you could tell,
I
and we'll see.
Well, it got Jim's approval, so, we'll see well, Jim Halpern's approval, so hopefully we'll see, Jim on there, and if not, hey, someone from the animation department would be good. At
Yeah,
the end of the day, I think, it's something that we really feel strongly about having on the channel, and I think doing a recap shows on some of the bigger, animation art, signature auctions would be good because it is, it's definitely a market that we're seeing OA collectors kind of dabble in, and I mean, heck, I have like 20 animation cells. I mean, and I just
I
over the
have
years, right? You
I
just pick
have
them
a
up.
big animation collection, but my stuff is vintage. I am not a collector of the anime, which has gone crazy.
Yeah,
Powerball Z, and I mean all the rest, and that and the hottest market of all in all of these fields is manga. So
I've been watching. Yeah, there's a lot of it's amazing the passion that that they have for that stories because
well,
it's
they've
something I have to
started
follow very
to
closely.
grade them. There was never graded manga comic books.
Mhm.
Now they're grading them, and just like at the beginning of grading of regular comic books, that's brought in a whole bunch of people into the field. I would not be surprised to see us getting into it in a much bigger way. I would do the animation with you, but I'm not. I'd have to research all of the stuff back to death. I'm not.
Well, let's hope we can get Jim on because I have actually never met Jim, and so it'd be fun to see.
He's got a couple of good people working with him, for him in the department. So that's a possibility.
I think we'll make it work out.
Yeah.
And then maybe we get Jim to OAX, I mean,
Oh yeah.
that
Well,
would
we had one of his people there, and he had animation at the show.
I don't think I got who was that? What was their name? Do you remember?
It was I don't remember his name. It was like Call, I think. Call, and
Okay.
he's
I
the
didn't get it
cataloger.
you had 18 people there. I couldn't I didn't that's I know I didn't meet him.
It was unbelievable. We had a good time. Everybody had a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad. I'm very glad. You bring,
Obviously, it was not necessary for me to be there with all the other people there, but
it wouldn't
Halpern,
you
he
need to
needed
be
company.
there. I'm gonna always say that you and Nadia always need to be at OAX,
Yeah.
irrespective of whoever else is there.
We had a good time. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, we're looking at this Frank Frazetta, and this is what does it say? National Lampoon Encyclopedia of Humor back cover art.
So this to me is weird that back in the day, National Lampoon, of course, always tried to push the envelope a bit, but for this to appear on the back cover, and that's why we included. I mean, you can see there's the published piece, and
Right.
there that was the actual back cover.
Hmm.
So, they shamelessly said sexy drawing use of such on sleazy publications to promote sales.
See page 119. Yeah, because there's nothing, it's not, there's nothing humorous about that image, but and that's the whole point. Sex sells, I guess, is what they were trying to say.
Exactly, and it worked. So
It
this is
definitely worked.
a very well-known image, and I mean, look, it's got all of look at the line work on her thigh. I mean, it's got all of the beautiful feathering, the
I'm not
Frazetta
gonna zoom
feathering.
in, Joe. I'm not zooming in. You want me to zoom in? No, I'm not gonna zoom in on that.
No, I'm just saying
I
on the yeah,
Oh, no, I mean, it's everything that you'd want
yeah,
in a
a
Frazetta
Frazetta
female
pen and
image.
ink.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But was it done specifically? I mean, you worked with Frazetta a bit. I mean, was it done for this, or was this like a
Yes.
licensed image that
Yeah,
they
no, no, this was done specifically for that. Remember,
wow.
he did that front cover of a, National Lampoon with
Yep.
the girl tied to the post, and he changed that image, 20 times.
Well, uh, yeah, well, this one's at 26 right now, so
Was that for the movie? I think I'm wondering if that painting was for a movie poster. There was a National Lampoon poster, I mean, a movie?
I'm
I don't
not
know, and
sure.
I'm not remembering that, but this is definitely for this book.
All
He
right,
also
well,
did that watercolor, that large watercolor for a, National Lampoon, magazine, if I recall. The one with the 3 ghouls, and beautiful girl, and there's 3 ghouls. People don't realize that those 3 ghouls are
mhm.
actually Barry Smith, Bernie Wrightson, and Jeff Jones. Frank
I don't
Frank
I'm gonna have to dig that one up because I can't picture it right now.
Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful, girl. It's a National Lampoon cover. Somebody will bring it up, and Frank was mad at them because they used to show up, and we used to take pictures of his prelims and say that, "Frank, you're God," and, yeah, I mean, all of these great accolades, and then they did an interview, and in the interview, they were asked, how much were you influenced by Frank Frazetta? And I said, oh, maybe when we were kids. We grew out of that years ago. Or, oh, Frank did not like that. Not one bit. And he did the cover as them picking at the bones of his thing. All right, Bill, the things you learn. How did we
Yeah,
get
now I
there?
really wanna find that cover. Oh, here you go, Some Crazy Cat by Harriman. I mean,
This is
you
a
know,
nice one.
as
Again,
we
I
said
went
earlier.
by value, price. Isn't it 41,000 or something? I mean, how much is this at?
Well, it's a 51 with the buyer's premium,
I
so
mean, on a crazy cat, and it's not the end of the sale. Wow. Just goes to show the popular, even the millennials, everybody wants to go back and maybe get, an example of things that were at the roots of the hobby. It's just the popularity never ceases.
no,
So
I mean,
here
there's
you got
no
a great ghost gag, classic jail shot at the end that
no
people
brick
love.
being thrown, but that's
There it is,
okay.
August 1973 National Lampoon cover. You see, everybody always is trying to check out Mannarino, see if he's telling the
Alright,
truth.
I'm gonna have to search for it while we're talking.
Oh yeah,
But no, it's, amazing. I mean, Harriman was, yeah, I have a couple of Harriman's books. I mean,
yeah.
it's just was incredibly talented, unique vision. and sometimes his strips were a little hard to follow. I mean, just but this one's just so tight and perfect. I mean, there's absolutely I
Sometimes that was
look.
the point, I think.
I
That
I I always felt that too, but this one is just so
oh,
easy.
yeah.
The flow is there. I mean, you can't complain about anything on this one at all.
Yeah.
So, and that last panel is amazing.
That's
So,
well said. A mad genius. Yep, I agree.
okay,
We
dash.
had to include a Jack Kirby. I had many to choose from, and I decided to go with. I thought this was cool because while this looks like a classic X-Men page, I mean, you couldn't get a more classic X-Men page from 1964. It's not. It's from Fantastic Four number 28, the first time that the X-Men appeared in the Fantastic Four, and the Mad Thinker. Great classic cover with the giant, android and the X-Men around it and Chickstone inks and uh, it just great. So this marks the first full-fledged appearance of the original X-Men within the Fantastic Four, and you've got Cyclops, Beast, Angel, Iceman, and Marvel Girl, Jean Grey, and they're um, the first crossover from their own series. I mean, it only debuted in 1963, X-Men number one, and this is 1964. At the time, X-Men 6 was on the stands.
Yeah, I guess Kirby did pretty well with the X-Men.
Aside
Uh,
from coming up with them to begin with, yeah.
I know everybody is still mad that I put Kirby at number 6 in my top X-Men artists. So, guess why Marcus always says Kirby not top 5. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But no, this is incredible from FF28.
So I'm going to
Love that
one
band.
more. I digress one more time.
Okay.
So whenever in my old job, I was in charge of education, and I dealt with universities all over the United States, over 600 of them. But kids always would ask me, what advice did I have for careers? And you know what I tell them? Never tell anybody what you really want to be. Because if you tell kid from when you're young, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this, and you don't end up being that, you will be reminded of that the rest of your life. Similar to your list.
Mhm.
You made that list one time, a moment in time,
I
and you
did.
will
I
be
can't
reminded of that
Nobody
list
forgets it.
the rest of your life. So there you go.
Well, I did find the, National Lampoon
So
cover.
all of you collectors that have kids, that's the advice for your kids. So that they're not stressed out their entire life during college, after college.
Well, the X-Men here, they look better in the FF book than they did in the X-Men book. I will say that. That's what I feel. I mean, I
Maybe because of the inks, Chickstone.
maybe
Yeah.
that may be. But okay, so and I like you said, there's bound to be plenty of Kirby in this auction. Are you going to the street naming thing that's coming up with
No.
Kirby? No? Well, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, I'm as big a Jack Kirby fan as anybody. Look at that. I don't know. Maybe I have that one later. This great. Look at
Gosh,
these
both
great
those are awesome.
monster splashes. This one here,
Oh
I
my gosh.
I was debating this one whether to put this up instead of. That's when what's her name, Harkness,
Agnes, yeah.
and they go up to her and they see her for the first time, and the house. Look at that.
I want this one.
Yeah,
This is an incredible page. Holy
yeah,
mackerel.
yeah. I know. I mean, I had to pick one, so what was I going to do?
Wow.
I know you
I
love the
I
X Men,
love
so
that.
that's why I picked the X Men.
I know, but yeah,
You
no,
made
this
a
is
mistake.
I like this page even more than the X-Men page.
All right.
Yeah, this
Is
is
this Synod X Inks? Boy, looks
yeah,
good.
it's in it. It's from
Isn't it?
issue 94.
Wow.
Gosh, that's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Hmm. Well,
Yep.
I'll leave, yeah, I'm gonna drag this one off to the side so I
Yeah.
can look at it more later.
Yeah.
Um, look, you're diving into the strip art a lot here. We have an Alex Raymond, Flash Gordon Sunday.
Yeah, you know why this came direct. I'm dealing directly with the family. This has never been on the market, new to the market. Beautiful, beautiful art, but you don't have Flash or Dale in the on it. So here's a chance if somebody really wants a beautiful example and they want a, Flash Gordon. I mean, it's the dream of collectors for forever. This is probably going to be affordable. Do you know what I mean?
If you've always been in the market for one and you hadn't been
Yeah.
able to pick one up, you're right. Definitely.
1943, beautiful, still has beautiful line work. You know, he every year changed his his art and the way he drew. He went from very, cartoony, dynamic, early stuff to the beautiful dry brush to a fine line and to this feathering approach, which, that's why he influenced so many different artists. He just went through all of these phases. He's always able to draw beautiful women.
Yeah, the line work in this thing is just it's really amazing.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Well,
just think when the earliest Golden Age books were out, this is why you had the big, you know, this is what was in the comic strips. Bern Hogarth, this, and then you had the very primitive stuff of Schuster and other artists working in the golden age of comics.
well, that's so where's it at? It's at 9,000 right now. But you're
Yeah,
right. It's going to be one of the more affordable ones you could have
yeah,
come up. Now that you picked this one for me, I'm sure. Here we go. Dave Cockrum, Dan
yeah,
Green,
yeah.
X-Men
Well, we had
107
to
page.
do a new X-Men page.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind owning this one.
Yeah, this is Cockrum's last issue before Byrne takes over in 108.
Yep.
And the first appearance of the Starjammers, which basically were Marvel's Legion of Superheroes. And look at Wolverine's costume. He's got that. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't remember the Legion of Superheroes character that resembles, but I know. But hey, that's we owe Dave Cockrum a debt of gratitude for his character designs, their costume designs, all of that. Where would we be without him? But yes, we know
Love.
the influences that came over from his love and work and on DC stuff. But come on, this is a great page.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Be my guest. You review.
Hey, there's nothing to me. It's like this is just this is the era of Dave Cockrum that got me interested in X-Men. I mean, it was, it was the, a lot of the costume design. I mean, the X-Men kind of had a little bit going for it already with what costume stuff they had going on. But when these issues were coming out, I just, I mean, look at it. I love it. Cockrum was just amazing. I mean, that's why he was why he was in my top five, Marcus, because he was so influential and just such a great designer across
Yeah.
the board.
Hey, without Cockrum, without Kirby, there's no X-Men. Without Cockrum, there's no new X-Men. So, I mean, it's one thing leads to another. And as you said, the art speaks for itself. This is like a Gettysburg Address. This art is self-evident.
Yeah, Dan Green's inks on this are really nice too. I
Yeah,
mean, I love this center panel here. So good,
yeah,
just so dang good.
yeah.
I don't know.
I know you want to obsess on that page, but we got to get going.
Yeah, we do. I'm sorry. Let's keep going here. So what do we got next? We got Sandman #1 page. We were just
The
talking about
splash page of Sandman #1, the first page in the book.
Sam Keith and Dringenberg on this one.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had to talk about this, even though Morpheus is not on this page, because I mean, poor Sam Keith passed away in March. I had to give him a shout out. The man had one of the most distinctive lines in comics, and I was really sorry to hear the news.
As were all of us, right? I mean, no, he he did the art on a lot of popular stories from from the era that I wasn't buying comics. So I missed out on reading his a lot of his stuff coming out at the time. But yeah, I mean, uh, yeah. But this is a historic piece.
Oh yeah, scarce first page from the first issue. Reshaped modern fantasy and comics, and of course has gone on to you know uh, the Netflix shows and everything else. Neil Gaiman, it just took everything to a different level and kind of reset the bar in comics as what you could have. Uh, really, it's really a great fantasy, classic fantasy novel put to pictures.
Nope,
Yeah.
agreed. Well, I'll be curious to see
We
where that
also have a
goes.
cool Ghost Rider and Cable #1 cover by Sam Keith in the sale. I didn't. Yeah, that's it. That's a cool piece.
Yeah, there's a few Ghost Rider and Cable fans out there.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now
He
this
knew how
is
to
a
he
totally
could draw a
different
face off like
sensibility, right? They
yeah,
than the other one.
mhm. But this is the stuff a lot of Marvel readers appreciate Sam Keith for. Just these he could draw two characters squaring off, better than anybody during this era, and they were always exaggerated and just so outlandish, but they they sold a lot of books, you know. But yeah, this is a great image too. Next up, Mark Silvestri, Batman Black
Yeah,
and White cover
I
from
thought this was a
2013.
really cool cover. Really cool art. I mean, look at this. He's another guy greatly admired by the other image artists. I mean, Mark could basically draw circles around a lot of those guys, and his art is compared to the other guys, a fraction of you know the price in most cases.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the the corpses behind him are depicted in a way that we've not really seen him like that before in flashbacks to Origins for him as well. But no,
Very good. You got it. This is a flashback to Batman's origin. Those are the that's the spot where his parents were killed in the alleyway. That's the specter of his parents in the distance, and there are the pearls, his mother's pearls strewn out in the alleyway.
yeah,
So a defining event, obviously, in the life of Bruce Wayne that basically uh, made him Batman.
yeah, that's right.
And people don't remember this one. I mean, comic book guys would know it, but
Mhm.
uh, Batman first appeared in Detective 27, but his origin really wasn't until Batman 33. It wasn't part of the original
They didn't start from the beginning.
concept. Yeah,
Well, that's a cool piece. We all love Silvestri.
and then
And
speaking of
hey, we have a
Batman,
Bob Kane sighting, everyone, right here.
in the hobby, this was pictured in several different places. And this is a really big piece, 24 and a half inches by 35 inches, ink, definitively Bob Kane.
That's
And
huge.
this was auctioned. This was in a collection right up until 1991 and was at auction in one of the early auction houses. It was either, I think this one might have been Sotheby's, or we might have auctioned it, but it was definitely 1991, and I bid on this. I might have been the underbidder. I mean, it went for significant money back then, and it's been underground all of this time. I don't know it's selling since then.
Well, uh, I mean, it's huge, 2 foot by 3 foot. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Oh, there's even a photo. There we
yeah.
go.
To give you an idea.
It looks like it was framed in 1972. It's got that same kind of that 70s vibe to it. But you know what? It's fitting that I hope it stays in that frame. Uh, that gives it a luster and allure that it would be lacking if it wasn't in it. But cool. We don't get to see many verified Bob Kanes out there. So
Hey,
this,
Marcus is saying any COA. You know what the COA is on this? The Heritage Archives. You got a
ah,
catalog. I don't have a catalog handy, but I mean that becomes the provenance forever.
mm-hmm. Wow. Well, Marcus, you should make sure you track this one just to see where it winds up. Uh, well, what auction would be complete without a Frank Miller uh, anything in it, whether it's Sin City or for me Daredevil. So here we go.
So
This is
this is a
page
funny thing.
165.
I'm putting together a list, and this was the page that was, to me really cool, and so I was going to put this one in, and then a couple of days go by, and I'm looking at the auction, the next page, which is just Black Widow in silhouette in action. You'll see the next lot that comes up uh, is already at like 60 grand or something. And I said, well, now I got to include both of them.
All right. Well, I have to see what that one is. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This is from issue 187, but
Yeah.
and you're right. It's at 78,000 with the buyer's premium.
Yeah. I mean,
Who would have thought, right?
I don't know. I suspect for it to be at that price now, maybe somebody's trying to put the book together. But hey, don't get me wrong. It's definitively a Frank Miller type thing to pull off, and to do something like this in all silhouette. But you know, what am I going to say? It's the Black Widow cutting through a bunch of the hands guys, and
All in silhouette.
yeah. But the page before, here's this is issue 165, so it's just like 7 issues after Miller took over to begin with, and then he started. I think this is the first time that he starts. He's officially credited as co-plotter, and starts to plot the issues, which of course will culminate in issue 168 with the death of Elektra. So on that page, yeah, you get the beautiful. Talking about Crazy Cat. Look, he goes from the dark background to the light background to the different panel structure, and 2 classic panels at the end. And then Daredevil's overhears them talking about that, because he's tracking this stolen adamantium shipment, and it turns out it's headed for Glenn Industries, which is headed by Heather Glenn, Daredevil's girlfriend and the person he thought he was going to marry.
Mm-hmm.
So you're starting to get the real drama in the strip. Uh-oh. You hear that clock in the background? That's my
11 o'clock.
Clock.
Uh-oh. Well, let's
We're,
we'll go fast to these last 8 pieces. John Romita Sr. So not a cover. We get a interior page
Yeah,
to.
this is unlike John, but here you got Vampire Tales #2, the first appearance of Satana. Complete 4-page story. Done in classic wash.
That's that's incredible. Beautiful.
And he is look at he always was able to draw. He began, people forget he began in romance comics, and he was always able to draw beautiful women.
I don't know why she's turning him away, but yeah, look at that. It's just this is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
My gosh, I don't want to see this one in person. Unbelievable. Wow.
Big John. Look at that. Woo.
Yep. That's amazing. This might be my favorite thing we've looked at tonight. I have to tell you, I didn't get a chance to look through all the slides that you sent me, so or the lots, but boy, this is great. That one I really like that a lot too. All right, well, uh,
And
awesome.
this is not cheap. What's it at
No,
already?
it's already at almost a 50,000.
There you
So
go.
I mean, it's got the first appearance thing going for it that we know people like, but I mean, just it's a thing of beauty. I mean, just look at that panel right there.
Yeah.
It's amazing. She's gorgeous. All right. Next up,
Then
Nick
the image
Cardy.
you picked for
I
your
did. I had this
preview.
was such a good image for I was going through all the some of the higher bid stuff and things that were tracked most, and I was like having a hard time figuring out what image to use, and I came upon this one, and I'm like, it's perfect,
Yeah, this is a classic
absolutely
image.
perfect. This is but Nick Cardy, of course. Let me get that. There we go.
Yeah.
From let's see, Superman 276. Yeah, I just thought imagery wise, it's fantastic. Uh, Anytime you can get two characters squaring off like that, but
Well, you assume that that's Captain Marvel, but it's not really Captain Marvel yet. This is Captain Thunder. It's a tryout. They hadn't really uh, published Captain Marvel and Shazam yet, so I don't even know if they had bought him. But so they did kind of a tryout thing using um, what's really him, and it was so successful that they decided to launch Shazam and then incorporate Captain Marvel into their line.
hmm, well, I know nothing about the history of DC at all. Sadly, well, not at all, but but yeah, that's just a great image. Cardi's somebody who we don't really. I mean, gosh, I mean, do we ever? I don't even know if I really ever even pick anything on a calf update by Cardi, which is sad given the career. But no, I thought this was a great image.
Hardy could draw anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was very talented.
All right, what's next? What would Elmer Moy say next? We got a supervillain team up, giant size supervillain team up.
Yeah, look at that. That's a 1975 Marvel #1. Doctor Doom, a tribute to the classic FF39 cover, with
Yeah.
Doctor Doom, great Kirby-esque kind of cover, featuring Tiger Shark, Atuma, and Namor. I mean, it's a stunning cover by Ron Wilson, inked by Giacoya. Ramita also worked on this. So, supervillain team up #1, 1975. I mean, this is great.
Did Ramita do the head? Is that
Probably.
how it usually goes?
Yeah.
They couldn't even let Ron Wilson get away with drawing three-quarter back view of Namor. They
Yeah, he had to justify his position as the director of, you know.
yeah. Well, I'm sure Ron wasn't upset. Barry Windsor Smith,
Yeah.
Conan cover, issue 5. I mean, we've seen a few Conan covers come to market of well, in the last 2 or 3 years. This
Yeah, this is very historic cover in that not only is it issue 5 of the run, but this was gifted by Marvel by Roy Thomas to Glenn Lord, who was he was a prominent member of fandom, but he became the literary agent to the Robert E. Howard estate,
hmm,
and so it was through Lord that Roy Thomas got the rights to Conan. So in appreciation, they gave him the cover, and this stayed in his collection until his death. So this came out as part of his estate.
wow, it's really nice.
Yeah, we sold part of his estate in 2018, and this sold first year Conan piece.
Wow. The Claws of the Tigress.
Mm.
Okay. Something different?
Yeah,
Everybody
he
needs
did
those
it
little
just
Harvey
because
Kurtzman in there.
yeah, usually little Annie Fanny, you can't even put them on there, but you this one you can, and it's a single page, so it's an affordable little Annie Fanny because it's not the whole story.
Yeah, look at that. You get a Picasso in the background. Yeah, you're right. We typically aren't able to show off any of these artworks, but no, this is yeah, these are always very sought after. So even without the too much nudity or any nudity on it, what is it? It's still at $5,300. It'll still do really really well. I mean, everybody wants a really nice Kurtzman.
Yeah,
Um,
you get Kurtzman, you get Elder, and this is finished by Russ Heath.
wow. See, I could get this, and I wouldn't need to buy a Russ Heath war story page. I'd be like, all right, I got my Russ Heath, my
And you
Kurtzman,
could put this
kill
on the
all the
wall without a problem.
yeah, yeah. Maureen wouldn't have a problem with this. There's no, I didn't see a skull anywhere in it, so we're good. I just love the from these the colors and the painting techniques in this. I mean, they're just so remarkable and stand out. I mean, it's
If you see, well, I again, I encourage. There's a book out with all the little Annie Fannies, and it also shows the prelims and his method of working.
mhm,
I mean, Kurtzman was fanatical. He would write the script, he would give it to Elder, but it wasn't enough to do the script. He would do a drawing of what he had in mind, and then would do an overlay with each color, like the blue would be on a tissue, the red would be on another tissue, then the yellow would be on another, and they'd be laid one over the other, so that it would be like this is exactly what I want. Elder would draw the thing. Kurtzman would look at it. By the time Elder finished, Kurtzman already had an idea how to change it. And they would go through revision after revision after revision. He was never satisfied. And that's why the original intent was that, yeah, little Annie Fanny was going to be in every Playboy. And by the time it ended, it was there, maybe 4 times a year because they just, it was just, he was so obsessive.
wow. Seatbelts are fascist. Yeah. No, well, they're just fantastic, man. Man, oh man, oh man. Now here, so you were right. You did pick one of these.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we got
'Cause
the
there was there
Moby
was
Dick Year's
there
Strange
was a
Tales
couple, yeah.
83.
I mean, all I could say about this is this is an outstanding 1961 pre-superhero. Yeah, think about it, this is before Fantastic Four 1, you know what I mean?
Mm,
And this was what Marvel was doing. The combination of monsters and sci-fi. Look at that spacecraft.
Pass the grog. Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, breathing fire out of its nostrils. I mean, uh, This is this is what you want in your well, in your title page or your chapter page, just a giant monster and everybody in peril.
Yeah.
Two more to go, everybody. We got Steve Ditko, Hawk and Dove first appearance.
Yeah, I had to do it because it was the first. It's Hawk and Dove first appeared in Showcase 75, and it's just an interesting story about Hawk and Dove. Uh, if you ever think about it, what is the Hawk and Dove? It's the political
Mm,
aspect of it, right? So back then, they were very. You had the Vietnam War going on. You had uh, you know turmoil all over the place. So I don't know if it was Ditko's idea or not, but in his classic, good versus evil mindset, which later really, evolved. This is the first appearance of the Hawk and the Dove, not just partners, but opposites. One built on force, the other one built on restraint. The names came right out of the political language of the day, used to describe supporters and opponents of the Vietnam War, a connection that DC didn't shy away from. Dick Giordano addressed it directly in the issue's quarters in session page. So it was done purposely, and they decided not to shy away from it. And of
well,
course, I don't remember, was it a Marvel feature or a Netflix feature, Hawk and Dove? But you know, they did a pretty good job with that.
I don't remember. This is a 1968. Wow.
Mhm. When Marvel left DC, I mean, when Dicko left Marvel, he went to DC and he had the chance to do this. And the Creeper, remember that?
I do remember the Creeper. Well, that's very cool. Very cool to see a early Ditko DC. Now, last but not least, let me get the click on here. There we go. Look at that. Now this I can't hang on my wall. This we end the show with a piece that I can't own, so that's always a good thing, Joe. Um, now what was this for though? A trading? Oh, it's a trading
Yeah,
card.
it was a Master of the Macabre trading card, mausoleum painting. What I liked about this was, usually Bernie's coloring was very stark, very bright. Here it's very subtle, beautiful, beautiful tones. I mean, look at those skeletons, just wonderful.
Yeah, no, that's what year is this from? Do you know?
1993. Remember when all the trading cards, the companies were coming out with all the artists trading cards
Hmm.
series? Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's yeah, it's very nice. Huh. It's from a 93. Again, it's back into that gray area for me. So I missed out on a lot of this stuff. But
that girl's face is unmistakably Wrightson.
mhm.
I did want to mention, I didn't feature his artwork, but David Mack. I don't know. You know him, the artist?
No, the art, yeah.
Yeah, he's we got several examples from him. And for those that don't know him, he was the one, he's a great, outstanding artist and a graphic designer. And he did the art that appears on all the Marvel movies, a lot of the Marvel movies like Captain America, the and uh, numerous ones where the closing credits and the opening credits. These are the Williamson strips I was telling you.
Yeah, I just they were yeah, I just was like, "Oh, look, these are the ones you were just talking about," or well,
Yeah,
like an hour ago. You do have a lot, don't you?
yeah,
And more than one Sunday too. Okay.
yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how sought after these things were for forever.
I can see why. Holy mackerel, man. These are, huh? And you said you have like 25 lots from this. That's
Something like that. Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna thumb through it. These, I think they're beautiful,
Oh, they are.
man. Fortunately, I'm not a Star Wars. I mean, I love Star Wars, but it's not like I gotta have it. There's enough people out there after the Star Wars art, but yeah, this is awesome. I'm glad you picked them. I
Yeah.
mean, I could have overlooked these and not even seen them. Well, Joe, we did it.
Yeah.
We made it all the way through. We even looked at a few things that we weren't planning on looking at.
Yeah. Then we digressed, and I apologize, but it's always fun. We went off
Yeah,
into
it's not that late. We're only 15 minutes over what we try to aim for, so that's not
yeah.
too bad.
No.
Well, auction is it's on the 8th, begins on the 8th. So everybody should be ready and well, I put the link in the show description and in the chat earlier so you guys can go over there, track some lots. We already know some people who are in the chat are eyeing lots of expensive stuff, and I'll probably throw a thrill bid on that FF 94 page with Agatha Harkness just so I can say I tried. Even though I know I won't get it. Uh,
That's a nice page. You're right.
it is pretty cool. I mean, and hey, you know what?
I'm glad you went there because you see, I mean, there's always a lot of good Kirby, and there's only so much you could talk about because I know you're not, you want to move past Kirby all the time.
Kirby's not in my top 5 X-Men creators, although I did like that FF page. But no, I mean, hey, this one might go, everybody's facing away from you except for Agatha in that last panel. So maybe I've got that going for me. You never know. But Joe, as always, thank you, and thank you for the introduction earlier today. We appreciate that with Jim. So I hopefully we'll definitely have something going on next Tuesday
Yeah.
if
Now,
Jim's.
is that during your that live event you're
No, that's
doing?
the weekend. That's the weekend of the 16th and 17th.
Okay,
So
so it's right after that. So you were thinking of doing this just before that?
just before that, right? Because the animation auction is the same weekend as our show. So
Right.
we thought it would be good to get it in there now and then try
Yeah.
to do a recap sometime the week after.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, thank you. Heritage is also sponsoring Comic Art Live as well. So we thought we would start moving in to that. It's our 13th show, and we get a lot of traffic. I mean, that's everybody. Every collector is looking at CAF the weekend of Comic Art Live. So
Cool.
yeah, we appreciate you guys supporting us with a sponsorship on that too, because yeah, it
Hey,
helps
we
us like
appreciate CAF
do
does
more.
for the hobby, and it's a great synergy. And you know, you have no bigger fan than Jim and I.
I I know that, and I appreciate that. So thank you, Joe. All right, everybody. Well, we're going to call it an evening. Thanks for hanging out with us and watching us talk about. Well, I think we had like 41 lots in here, but there's how many total lots are in this one? Did you say over 900?
Uh, of just comics, of
Yeah,
comic art. Yeah,
yeah.
it's in that realm. Absolutely.
All right, so plenty to look at. Like clearly, a lot of people are tracking stuff already, but I'll be watching. I always like watching the live bidding. It's a thrill, even though I'm not participating in it. It's fun.
You're when you watch the live bidding and like in that you're participating in history. This is going to be the stuff that people will talk about. I remember when that Conan 5 cover went in 2026.
Mhm. No, yeah, even number one Marvel fan who's looking at two auctions, hopes to get just one of them. We wish you the best on that one, Tom, and he'll be consigning props to you guys very soon. So again, thank you, Joe. As always, I love getting to hang out with you, and I always learn something. I think today I learned at least maybe 4 or 5 new things that I didn't know before. So thank you for that. Thank you for putting the Tarzan strip behind you too. It's something that deserves. It should be in a museum, Joe. It's framed as if it should be in a museum. That's for
And I
sure.
have a Hal Foster Tarzan, probably the earliest known one, hand colored by Foster. I think it's the only known hand colored
Well,
Tarzan by Foster.
if you remember, that's what should be on the back wall next time, and we'll pick out a Hal Foster to be part of the preview.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, everybody, have a wonderful evening. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock with another, well, a pro am show. So anybody who likes to see an art drop between a dealer and a collector and see who wins tomorrow night would be your night to tune in. So good night, and we'll talk again real soon.